Hey, welcome to my week 6 game against the Green Bay Packers. It's Cowboys and Packers. This game was just a defensive battle. My offense couldn't get going. Romo was pretty much shut down the whole game. You can see we came out with a win 26-21. We missed an extra point that kind of changed the game, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But overall, every time I play Preston, it's just a battle. I think he's taken me down quite a few times in a row, so it feels good to kind of get a win. We'll look at some of the stats here in a second, but overall the game was a nail-biter all the way down to the end. Some of the plays here from the highlights. He made an amazing halftime play, which Hail Mary tip drill. I don't know if it'll show a highlight before we get to the stats or not. Let's check and see. It should, because it was an amazing play. Had some good runs, but got 100 yards rushing with Elliott, so that was nice. But he got it on the last play. There's the tip drill. Oh, we'll take a look at that later. That came right at the half. That was a backbreaker. Overall, you can see we still gave up too many passing yards. So let's look at some of the stats from the game. All right, overall, total yards were about the same. His passing game was much better than mine. Couldn't seem to stop him. And then running game, really the stats are inflated because they got like 20 yards on the last carry of the game. So really, Elliott would have been under 100. Total yards about the same. Turnovers was the big story of the game. I got 3 and he got 2. And then third downs, we were both amazing on third down conversions. In the red zone, 4 for 4. That's always great. Time possession, we had the ball a lot. Running the ball. So here, Rodgers was a lot more proficient than Romo. You can see he threw for 200 yards, 2 TDs, but the 3 interceptions is what really was the game difference. Rushing the ball, you can see Elliott, he did get the 100 yards, but just barely on the last play of the game, actually, or one of the last few plays of the game. So him and Lacey did about the same. Elliott broke one right before the end of the game, too, that got called back for holding, so but just didn't really get any big runs this game. The Packers did a great job. And then passing, Cobb was good. Witten was my leading receiver with 4. I think Bryant had 4 as well, but nobody over 100 yards receiving. Romo did a pretty bad job. He was just covering everything up. Sacks, I think he had 5 sacks in the game. Let's look at the scoring breakdown. You can see it went up 14-0, but I missed the extra point to only make it 13-0 with 12 seconds to go. And he threw a Hail Mary pass with no time left, and it was an amazing catch. Look at the highlight in a minute. And then he took the opening drive in the third quarter, scored, and it looked like he's taking the commanding lead because the next possession I had a ball, he intercepted it and scored. But I fought back, got on the board, and then got a turnover at the very end of the game when he was driving to take the game away. We'll look at some of the highlights here. So this is the halftime play. It was 13-0. I missed the extra point. The momentum, this just totally swinged it. I called a really bad defense. And he went in. That was crazy. I was hitting the X button and everything, but it just didn't work out. And then he got the ball back and scored the next position. I thought that. And then here's the end of the game. He was driving. I was up by 5. And he had just got a 1st and goal. And I held him on the run play. And I think it was 2nd and goal. Yeah, let's go back down here. This was pretty much, there's a minute 12 seconds to go in the game. 2nd and goal. I was doing a good job of stopping his run game. And this was pretty much all CPU. It definitely was not a user pick. But this is my rookie. Too bad this guy can't play for the Cowboys in real life right now. He just undercuts it and goes to that. I think he should have got out of bounds sooner. Pretty would have should have fumbled maybe, but overall, it was a great game. That was definitely the game changer. Let's look at that Hail Mary just one last time. That thing was amazing from Jordy Nelson's view. This is why you never give up on a play. Tip drill to him, boom. And I really thought that was a game changer, but I'll see you next time. Bye.